The top 20 musical instruments. Let's watch.
Welcome to Watch Mojo. And today
I wish
we're
I
counting down our
would've learned
picks
how to
for
play
cool,
violin.
widely learned, or otherwise interesting musical instruments. However, we'll
The
be omitting
harp.
instruments that are the only of their kind, a la the marble machine.
I wish I would have learned how to play the drums and the violin. I think the drums are so cool. Like, I'll be looking at drummers sometimes, and that shit is talented. Like, I wish I would have learned how to do the drums, bro. Or like
Number
play
20,
piano.
tuba. How low can you go? Pretty darn low if we're talking about a tuba, a brass instrument that possesses a deep and resonant range.
Clarinet, like, bro.
Often engaging in a supportive role, the tuba wasn't an instrument commonly found within an orchestra pit until around the 19th century.
It's a very delicate instrument. It has a very tiny, tiny, tiny tone, sort of like the love song of a canary. Listen very closely, you just won't hear it at all.
Tuba players can find themselves
Tubas are
bolstering
funny.
the
I'm
bass
sorry.
frequencies of other orchestral instruments, such as woodwinds. Additionally, the tuba's own rumbling tones can often evoke
Damn.
feelings of doom, dread, or impending danger, both within traditional orchestra incorporations, as well as within the parameters of modern jazz groups. Number 19, hang.
One
I
may be
love the
tempted to refer to a hang as
hang.
a hang drum, but the inventors
Oh my
of this
God.
comparatively recent instrument have stressed their preference for just plain hang.
I love the hang. Oh my God, I love this sound. It's so peaceful and relaxing.
The hang is related to the family of steel drums that have permeated music from Trinidad and Tobago for decades. This doesn't only come down to the uniquely evocative sounds that emerge from the hang when struck, but also their physical construction. Performers can also get other sounds from a hang by sliding their hands across its surface, or by rolling mallets to achieve sustained notes similar to that of a singing bowl.
Oh, I love that sound.
Number 8.
A lot of the music that I listen to, these past, like, I've been listening to like different types of music or whatever, and a lot of the music I've been listening to has hang. I thought it's called hand drum. I swear I thought it was called hand drum, but they have that like in their songs. Alina Baraz is one person. She has it in her beats. There are like several people that I listen to who have that drum or that sound or whatever in their songs, and I love it. It's such an addiction. That's like probably one of my favorite sounds or instruments to hear, I would say.
18. Trombone. Brass instruments, such as the trombone, can be found in everything from old school orchestras to some of the hippest jazz ensembles around.
This makes me want to go to like a jazz club.
Marching bands frequently make use of this long sliding instrument to create lower register tones alongside other brass accompaniment. Elsewhere, famed musicians such as Wayne Henderson and Raul de Souza have incorporated their trombones into everything from jazz, rock, and soul to fiery funk. Basically, what we're saying is that the trombone is anything but stuffy or old-fashioned. It all depends upon how you'd like to play it. Number 17, contrabassoon. Move over, tuba. The
Oh,
contrabassoon
what?
actually gets even lower than that famed bit brass, which is seriously impressive for this member of the woodwind family. The sound of a contrabassoon is deep and satisfyingly rich, although its higher register doesn't possess the same amount of
Wow.
resonant power. This means a contrabassoon could potentially be drowned out within an orchestra setting, but its usefulness within an ensemble remains unquestioned. Its rumbling low buzz can work within a similar thematic space as a tuba, creating tension and counterpoint against brighter and more optimistic sounds.
I could hear this in
Number
movies.
16,
So I'm
bass
trying to think,
clarinet.
I can't think of a time where I've ever heard that sound or that instrument.
The diversity of this woodwind instrument is
Like you said, it
seriously
gets drowned
impressive.
out.
Bass clarinets can be found within everything from traditional orchestras and jazz groups to rock of both the classic and modern variety. The Beatles famously made use of the bass clarinet on their song It's All Too Much.
It's what you made for us to take. It's all too much.
While Paramore utilized a session bass clarinetist to lay down some playing on their track Figure 8. Meanwhile, the instrument's 4-octave range lends them an ability to vacillate between sounds and moods. That said, the world of classical music hasn't historically seen many pieces composed specifically for bass clarinet. But who knows? Maybe that will change someday.
Oh, wow.
Number 15, harp. We tend to all have this very specific stereotype that pops into our heads whenever harps are mentioned, right?
Look at that guy. He's got that sissy stringy music thing.
We've been through this. It's a harp, and you know it.
All right. That's a harp. And that's a dress.
Right.
That image of celestial sounds of angels playing their harps up there in heaven.
The reality of this instrument is very different, of course, and it isn't only within the confines of religion that harps can be explored.
On a good day, you can feel my love for you.
Dorothy
Ooh.
Ashby famously countered stodgy traditionalism when she released her Afro harping LP in 1968. This album, alongside her 1970 work, The Rubaiyat of Dorothy Ashby, pushed her instrument into the realms of jazz as a lead instrument.
Myself, when young, did eagerly frequent.
The results were both electrifying
I love
and
it.
enduring, since her forward-thinking and progressive approach to the harp would influence hip-hop and sample culture in the modern day. Number 14, theremin. The next instrument on our list is another one that feels immediately evocative of a specific mood in space. The sound of a theremin is very specific, a
How
distinctively creepy sound that we usually associate with
How
old
are
school
they playing
horror
it?
and science fiction movies.
What? The whole time, that sound was from an instrument.
It's also something of a pioneer within the world of electronic instruments, such as the Moog synthesizer or Clavivox. Watching a thereminist is particularly cool,
What?
as they make use of the instrument antenna by guiding their hands around, above, and in between.
Oh my God.
The The theremin
I
was of
love
particular
it.
use during the golden age of radio, since it was able to add texture to plays and radio dramas with the greatest of ease.
First, Jeff disappears, and now a theremin shows up out of nowhere? The plot thickens.
Number 13.
The whole time I thought that sound was like edited or like something that they did during editing. I didn't know that was an actual instrument. That's crazy.
Viola. It's time for the string section to get a little love, specifically for the viola.
There's another instrument I feel like can make that same sound from the previous. I'm talking about the previous instrument. What? I'm still trying to wrap my mind around
This
that.
relative of the violin can play melodic sections and beautiful harmonies with ease, but its usage isn't reserved solely for classical composition. The strong sounds of the viola were adopted by musicians from the progressive and experimental sectors, including artists like Marillion and the Velvet Underground.
Shiny, shiny, shiny boots of leather.
These latter sounds came primarily from boosting the viola with a little electricity. This enabled musicians such as John Cale to get some brooding and unsettling drones from their violas, pushing beyond the instrument's reputation for melody and into the worlds of avant-garde. Jazz legend continually pushed the boundaries of brass with his uncompromising style. Davis's reputation within his field moved from bop and modal jazz to the fiery fusion in jazz rock of the Bitches Brew, In a Silent Way, and On the Corner demonstrated how Davis's trumpet could cry and soar with the angels just as easily as it got down with the devil. Beautiful melodies,
God, that's a lot in
discordant
my ear.
noises, and quiet sadness can all be achieved with a trumpet. And it's this versatility that makes this instrument so interesting. Number 11, bagpipes. You either love it or you hate it. The sound
What
of
is happening
bagpipes.
here?
You want my body? I'm giving a text. Come on, baby, let me know.
On one hand, there's the cultural significance attached to bagpipes in the country of Scotland. We often hear them performed during parades or at official political ceremonies. Yet, that sustained droning that emits from the bagpipes can tend to be disconcerting or annoying to some people. Perhaps it's how the bagpipes sometimes
wanna be
show up during
disrespectful.
movie funeral scenes that have traditionally affected their modern
It
stereotype.
sounds kind of annoying.
Or maybe it's how the bagpipes have been seen as noise pollution over the years, resulting in bans as recently as 2011, when they were excised from Rugby World events. Where do you stand?
Prepare to hear me play the bagpipes perfectly.
Okay.
Point proven.
Number 10, didgeridoo. It doesn't take long to pick out the sound of a didgeridoo from a musical crowd, thanks to its loud,
Is that the one that goes
droning sound and uniquely elongated shape.
It is.
This wind instrument was first introduced by Aboriginal Australians as a tool closely tied in with their tribal culture, with the didgeridoo continuing to be closely associated with the country's musical heritage to this very day. Progressive musicians such as Kate Bush and pop group Jamiroquai have even utilized the didgeridoo in a modern rock format, thus proving its versatility across culture and genre.
Oh, wow.
Number 9, harmonica. The next instrument on our list has long been the chosen sidearm accompaniment of bluesmen and folk heroes alike, the harmonica. Although this reed instrument, also known as a French harp or mouth organ, never really sees use as a song leader, its ability to drive home a memorable melody has proven useful for artists as varied as Bob Dylan and Billy Joel, whose classic Piano Man features a plaintive, melancholy harmonica in between the song's verses.
Sing us a song, you're the piano man.
It's portable, easy to learn, and the perfect instrument to pull out when you just want to lay down a jam.
He needs to put that down.
I asked you not to do that.
Number 8, cello. Whoever said that cellos couldn't rock?
I like the cello.
Oh,
That deep
papito.
sound.
If Jojo Ma
I
heard
like
you
that.
play, he would quit.
Yeah, he would.
Don't spout such nonsense to Finland's Apocalyptica, who have made a career out of electrifying audiences with their heavy metal cello antics.
I like that deep sound, that bassy sound.
Apocalyptica aren't the only artists to break new ground when it comes to these classy string instruments, however, as evidenced by the avant-garde alternative act Rasputina, who combine the cello's roots in beautiful classical music and combine it with a dark, fresh, and very cool sound all their own. Number 7. Violin. Sure, some might not think there's much coolness to be found within the humble violin.
That's so cute.
But one only need to point out the infamous reputation of the classical outlaw Niccolo Paganini to uncover the true sinister origins behind this small stringed wonder.
Oh, no. Oh, yeah.
The Italian violinist and composer was rumored to have sold his soul to the devil in order to develop his demonically fast and precise fingering technique, while Paganini's amorous adventures with female admirers earned him gossip wherever he traveled. If you're not a fan of the traditional sound of the violin, you better believe there is an electric counterpart. Number 6. Bass guitar. We head next to the mighty rhythm section, where this lord of the low end holds down a steady beat to anchor any song.
Another one bites the dust.
The bass guitar is a versatile instrument when placed in the proper hands, as it can hang back in the pocket or fly off the handle, depending on the musician's
Now I want to hear that
technique.
song. Wait,
Bass
hold
guitar is
on.
often
Hold
seen
on.
as an instrument of groove, however, and saw some serious progression thanks to Paul McCartney of the Beatles, whose performance on the band's Come Together saw some serious innovation in terms of the bass guitar finally stepping out of the shadows and into the spotlight.
Come together.
Over me.
Number 5. Saxophone. Nothing quite says slinky and sexy like the sensuous saxophone.
Is that where the sound came from?
This woodwind instrument was particularly popular in the 1980s thanks to its prominent placement in such massive pop hits as George Michael's Careless Whisper and Billy Ocean's Caribbean Queen. Elsewhere, the saxophone was put to good use
now I wanna
in
hear
both
that too.
R&B and rock, not to mention the classic big band sound of its deeper-toned cousin, the baritone sax. Even Lady Gaga got into some hot sax action with her hit The Edge of Glory, proving that this horn still has plenty of tooting to do. Number 4. Synthesizer. The next instrument on our list also rose to some serious prominence in the 1980s, but began to see proper implementation in the 1970s progressive rock boom. The synthesizer revolutionized the electronic music field when it was utilized by such forward-thinking rock icons as Rush, and Emerson, Lake and Palmer, while former Yes keyboardist Rick Wakeman even drafted an entire concept album about King Arthur around the synthesizer. Meanwhile, Germany's Tangerine Dream managed to create entire worlds with the synthesizer's almost limitless potential for atmosphere and soundscapes.
That was nice in
a
my
notion
ear.
which has been continued today with such modern electronic artists as Trent Reznor. Number 3, piano. The classics never go out of style, as evidenced by the longevity of the mighty piano. If you think this instrument is just for classical music or soft, teary ballads, then think again, because the piano has long been a cornerstone in the gigantic castle wall, which is rock and roll history.
Shooting star leaping through the sky like a tiger, defying the laws of gravity.
Whether it's the classical bombast of Mozart, Stevie Wonder's electrified funk, or the formative rock of Jerry Lee Lewis, few instruments have driven as many musicians to coolness as the piano. Want further proof?
Just watch Tori Amos tickle those ivories and be convinced that the piano is one massively cool instrument indeed.
Number 2, drums. Everybody loves the drums, even your neighbors.
I love the drums. I love the
There's just
drums.
something primal and propulsive about this ultimate rhythmic instrument, which makes it an icon of cool. Drums can be loud and boisterous or dizzyingly technical, but one thing's for sure, they're a profoundly physical instrument which demands a lifetime of dedication and dexterity to master.
Not quite my tempo. It's all good. No worries. Here we go. 5, 6, 7.
I love the
Fans
drums.
may love to air guitar their favorite licks at concerts, but air drumming has to land at a close second, as evidenced by the legions of Neil Peart fans who would
Oh my
flock
God.
to every Rush
Oh my God.
concert for yet another glimpse of their drum god and rock icon. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to
What
our
is number
channel and
one?
ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1, electric guitar.
Oh.
There have been countless stories of rock and roll icons who grew up idolizing their favorite guitarists. It didn't matter if that guitarist was Eddie Van Halen, Lindsey Buckingham, or Annie DeFranco. It was the allure and siren call of that seductive sixth string which brought them all together. The guitar is cool enough on its own, but the addition of plugging it into an amp and cranking it to 11 just sets the bar so much higher.
Why don't you just make 10 louder and make 10 be the top number and make that a little louder?
These go to 11.
Endlessly impressive, capable of an array of styles, tones, and sounds, and able to fit into any music genre, the electric guitar is a go-to tool of creation, and there's nothing cooler than that. Do you play an instrument? Which one?
No.
Let us know in the comments.
Is mayonnaise an instrument?
No, Patrick, mayonnaise is not an instrument. Horseradish is not an instrument either.
Did you enjoy this video?
There is one instrument. It wasn't in this video. I don't know the name of it. I'm about to look it up right now. It's such a cute little, it's like a hand held little thing. It kind of looks like a tiny little piano. The only thing I could tell y'all that from where I remember hearing it, I think it's Yoshi's Island. It's like in the beginning, I can't spell island. It's like in the beginning of when it's coming on. Hold on. Hopefully I can find it so y'all won't be here for long. It's so cute. They show me pianos. Oh my god. Hold on. I can't find it. I can't find it. It's a cute little like handheld little instrument, and I can't freaking find it. And it's so adorable. That sound is so adorable. Like the sound that comes out of it is so I found it. It's called, hold on before I say it, a kalimba? Hold on, let me click on this. It's so cute. It's so freaking cute. Are they gonna play an ad? They always gotta play an ad in front of a video. Jesus. Can you guys hear it? I love this little thing. Can't hear it. I don't think you can hear it. It's not picking it up. It's like something you put babies to sleep to. I love this little instrument. It's so cute. I was kind of expecting for that to be in this video, but I guess not. And then going back to that other instrument where it was like the weird like alien sounds, I thought that was either like an edited sound or I'm telling y'all, there is another instrument that sounds very similar to that. And I have it in my head. I just cannot think of what it is. It's like there's an instrument, bro, and it exists. And I'm telling y'all, I'm not making it up. There is an instrument out there that sounds very similar to it because I've seen someone playing it before. I just can't remember what show or something, but I've seen it before. But this video was really fun. Some of these instruments I've never like seen before. I think I've heard, but I've never seen before. I've never even known they existed. But yeah, I love the drums. I wish I would have learned how to play the drums, or that one like I call it a hand drum. I think it was like it was in the earlier part of the video. I wish I would have learned how to like play that or whatever. But let me know in the comments like what's your favorite drum, or not drum? What's your favorite instrument or whatever? Or like what do you know how to play if you know how to play anything. I know a lot of people know how to play like the piano or whatever. I'm not really crazy about the piano. I'm not gonna hold you. I'm not really crazy about the piano for real. I don't hate it. I don't care for pianos. But yeah, leave some comments and I'll see you on the next one. Toodles.